Hey everyone, in this video we'll be talking about work planes and how these planes become useful when using the Loft tool. In Inventor, we are able to create new planes in arbitrary locations that are not the given origin planes. This allows us to create a new sketch wherever we want. For example, we can create a plane that is offset from an existing plane. This can be helpful when using the Loft tool, which we will also go over in this video. To demonstrate the use of work planes and the Loft tool, we will be creating a coffee cup. As you can see, I have already created a sketch of the top of the coffee cup. To make the base of the coffee cup, we can create a sketch that is offset from the top of the cup, then use the Loft tool to connect the top and the bottom. First, we need to create an offset plane. To do this, go to the 3D Model tab in the Work Features section of the ribbon, open the Plane drop-down, and select Offset from Plane. We then need to select an existing plane to offset from. To access our origin planes, open the origin folder in the browser. You can then click on the plane you would like to use as reference, and in our case, we will use the XZ plane as that is a plane we created at the top of the cup. We can then specify a distance to offset from that plane. We'll choose a distance of 100 millimeters, and we'll use -100 since we want the plane to be below the XZ plane. We can then go ahead and sketch on this plane and create a circle with a diameter of 80 millimeters. Now we can use the Loft tool. You can find the Loft tool in the 3D Model tab in the Create section of the ribbon. When you first use the Loft tool, it will be defaulted to New Solid with a solid output. Note that there are options of Cut and Intersect, as well as creating a surface for output. You can then select the two faces to form the loft. Before we create, please note that you can use the Loft tool to connect different shapes. They do not need to be two circles as we have done here. We can now use the Shell tool to make sure that our cup is hollowed out. Select the Shell tool and we will use the default to keep the border on the inside. We will hit Remove Face and select the top of the cup. Then we can specify a border thickness of 6 millimeters. You now have the basic shape of a coffee cup. Although we don't need to use it here, Inventor has a simple way of creating a plane midway between two planes. To do this, open the plane drop-down and select Midplane between two planes. Then you can select two existing planes or surfaces and a plane will be created midway. Let's delete that and we can now look at how to create a plane on a rounded surface. Because our cup does not have an edge as it is rounded, we first need to trace out an edge. Let's open up the YZ plane and create a sketch. A helpful tool here is Project Geometry. Essentially, this tool allows us to use shapes that do not exist in the same plane. It allows us to trace out these shapes onto the plane that you are currently working on. First, let's start a sketch, and we can use the Project Geometry tool so that we can select edges that intersect with our plane. We will select the outer face of the mug. Now that we have an edge, we can select Angle to Plane around edge. We then need to select the plane that has our sketch, so the YZ plane. Then we can select the edge that we had sketched out, and the plane that we will create will lie on this edge. Inventor will allow you to specify an angle for the orientation of this plane, but we will keep it at 90 degrees. We can then hit the green check mark and our plane will be created. You can turn off the visibility of planes by right-clicking on the plane and unchecking visibility. This concludes our video on work planes and using the Loft tool.